A diminished Donald Trump doubles down on dangerous MAGA lies as leading Democrats remain intent on destroying President Joe Biden's re-election. All that and more now on a special edition of Graf's Grievances. An extraordinarily low-energy Donald Trump accepting the Republican presidential nomination with a classic hate-filled MAGA speech, littered with lies. The convicted felon ex-president first milking the details of his assassination attempt before pivoting to the red meat rancor his cult followers love. Trump attacking former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi as Crazy Nancy. Trump saying America was, quote, a nation in decline, despite President Biden overseeing the creation of a record more than 15 million new jobs the past 3.5 years, and an unemployment rate below 4% for the longest time in half a century. Trump also loquaciously targeting his favorite scapegoat, undocumented immigrants, comparing them to the fictional serial killer and cannibal Hannibal Lecter. There is zero evidence that a surge in crime has been caused by recent arrivals to America, and in fact, thanks to President Biden, violent crime dropped by more than 15% in the United States during the first 3 months of this year. According to FBI stats, murders are down by more than 26%, rapes are down by 26%, and robberies are down by 18% from a year ago. Furthermore, last month, June 2024, thanks to President Biden, the U.S. saw the lowest monthly total for illegal border crossings since January 2021. But of course, facts, truth, reality have never inhibited Trump, which explains how the serial fabulist could say with a straight face, quote, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. Yes, that lie from the man who inspired a mob of his supporters to attack the U.S. Capitol after he lost the last presidential election. Trump now charged with 14 felonies related to his wide-ranging election subversion scheme. In total, the ex-president lying more than 20 times during his 92-minute acceptance speech, the longest on record. As for policy proposals, there were just 3. Drill, baby, drill, reduce your taxes, and mass deportations. No specifics beyond that, which comes as no surprise considering that under President Biden, the U.S. is drilling more oil than ever before. More oil drilling in the U.S. under President Biden than under Trump, and even under the presidency of George W. Bush. As for tax policy, Trump is promising to raise tariffs on foreign goods and cut taxes for millionaires and billionaires. Those combined actions will not only drive inflation to new heights, according to economists across the ideological spectrum, but directly hit the middle class and poor who spend a larger portion of their income on goods. And with respect to forcibly deporting the more than 10 million unauthorized immigrants living in the U.S., Trump plans to set up vast deportation camps along the southern border and use the U.S. military to round up suspected illegal immigrants across America. And if that all conjures up World War II and Nazi Germany, you are not alone. In fact, Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, just 8 years ago, wondered if Trump was a, quote, America's Hitler, and compared Trump to, quote, cultural heroin. Vance also saying in just the past few years that Trump is a, quote, total fraud who doesn't care about regular folks. In 2017, Vance liking a tweet saying Trump committed, quote, serial sexual assault and calling Trump, quote, reprehensible. But all of that now apparently not important to the 39-year-old Vance, who has prioritized career advancement over integrity, decency, and most importantly, the future of American democracy. Vance's sycophantic support of Trump not only earning him the VP slot, but on display during his acceptance speech opening the RNC this year. From start to finish, the Republican National Convention was focused on rewriting the history of Donald Trump and his MAGA movement, falsely portraying Trump as a kind, caring man and his followers as blue-collar, everyday Americans. And while Trump certainly does have record support among, as he likes to call them, the uneducated, Trump's policies have been terrible for the middle class. And Trump is the antithesis of a good person. He tried to violently overturn the last election. He separated migrant families and caged undocumented children. He placed 3 radical justices on the Supreme Court who tried and were successful at overturning the right to an abortion. And he is now a convicted felon 34 times over for illegally covering up payments to a porn star he had an affair with prior to the 2016 presidential election. Such a history, such a rap sheet would logically imply that Trump should be headed for a historic defeat in November. But the antithesis of that appears to be happening. And that is because instead of trying to defeat Trump again, Democratic leaders and mega donors are solely focused on attacking President Biden and trying to get him to drop out of the race. Why are they doing this, especially considering their frequent pleas that Trump is an existential threat to the nation? Because President Biden performed terribly in one debate, and they do not think Biden can defeat Trump again. Mind you, these are the same influential people who supposedly pushed Biden out of the race in 2016 in favor of Hillary Clinton, who of course went on to lose to Donald Trump. So, despite more and more elected Democrats cowardly calling for Biden to step aside, I urge President Biden to stay in this race and listen to the voters who elected him the Democratic nominee again this year, and the 81 million Americans who voted for Biden over Trump just 4 years ago. Thank you for watching this special edition of Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me in the next one.